In this exercise, we will see how we can select the HTML element with the ID attribute if an HTML element needs to be styled uniquely. No matter what classes are applied to the element, we can add an ID to the element. To add an ID to an element, the element needs an ID attribute, like in this example right here. Just like any other HTML attribute, you have the attribute name, ID in this case, and then you have the value for the attribute. Then CSS can select HTML elements by their ID attribute. To select an ID element, CSS prepends the ID name with a hashtag character. For instance, if we wanted to select the HTML element in the example above, it would look like this. So you have the hashtag followed by ID name, in this case large title. The ID name is large title, therefore the CSS selector for it is hashtag character large title. And let's see the instructions. In style.css, add a CSS selector for an HTML with an ID of article title. Inside of its curly braces, write the following properties. And let's add the ID selector, article title, curly braces, and let's add these two CSS properties inside. Font family to cursive and text transform to capitalize. These two CSS attributes will make the font cursive and will capitalize the first letter of each word while lowercasing the rest. And let's save our code. Navigate to index.html on line 11. Add an ID attribute to the h1 element and include article title as its ID. Okay, now let's add the ID to the h1 element with the article title value. You will see the title change to a cursive font that is not all uppercase. And let's save our code to see the changes. Yep, you see, now we change the h1 element again. This should be all for this exercise. We learn how to select HTML elements with the ID attribute. Let's proceed to the next one.